You are at the Almighty Church of Rock with a band called Tapeworm, and that band was from 1978, Sister Tracy. And we're going to actually talk with the gentleman that was in that band in 78, and then he went on to form bands like Fang and so many other great bands. And I'm hoping our system is going to work. If not, we have a separate system. But Tom Flynn, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, it works. Okay, great, man.
Wow, we actually, yes, it worked. Yay.
Tom, this is Sister Tracy, Tom Flynn.
Hey, Tom, thanks for calling.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you, too.
So, Tom, where are you calling from?
From California.
Okay, are you down in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
Nice.
So you're not, I know there's some terrible fires going on down in the Malibu area.
just living through a lot of smoke and,
Yeah, we can relate.
And...
Here in Southern Oregon, we had smoke, pretty bad smoke for most of the summer. So, yeah, we feel for you guys, and we hope that everyone's okay. That's at risk.
Well, we get nice sunsets, but other than that,
I know it's the craziest thing, isn't it? But yeah, we do. We wish everyone safety, and we hope they get those fires put out soon.
Yeah, sure.
So, man, we were just jamming on Tapeworm, which is such a fun record, but the song, of course, that we played was the song called Break My Face.
Right.
And that was from 78, so you were like in the punk scene way early on.
Well, it was, it's all relative for what's early. I was 15 when we first started that band.
Gosh, you're a baby.
Yeah, I guess. And so, yeah. I mean, it was early because no one else in our, no one else in our peer group was into punk rock then, and you didn't hear it on the radio or anything else. So you kind of had to search it out. But
yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't get to start singing for my first band until like 83. So to me, it feels like, wow, give it up for your rock and punk rock elder.
Well, you're such a poser, That's your problem.
Damn it! I always get called out, man. So how did Fang come about? I know I'm not trying to skip ahead. I know you've been in a lot of bands, but what is the chronology of like Fang compared to Tapeworm? How did that all happen?
Well, one of the guys I was in Tapeworm with, Brian Beatty, we eventually, after high school, I moved out to California, and he moved to Texas, and then eventually he joined me out in California, and so we started a band just as a two-piece duo, and that was the first Fang. We would trade off playing drums, and one of us would play guitar or bass and sing, and that was the first Fang, and we ended up recording a single, and we did kind of a half-assed tour of the country, and then right after that, we split up, and he moved back to Texas, and then I kind of kept Fang going in California and got new people. So
were you were in Fang before Sammy Town, right?
Oh, yeah. We were two-piece, and then eventually we were three-piece, and then Sam kind of invited himself to be the singer.
Well, how did that happen? How did you meet Sammy? What was the deal with that?
Well, we were auditioning a drummer, and we were auditioning a new drummer, and the drummer brought Sam along just as his friend, and so we played with the drummer, and then after we finished playing, Sam was like, "Yeah, you guys are pretty good, but you should get a singer, and I can sing," and so kind of he just really pushed himself in there.
Wow! So
before that, I was singing. I was playing guitar and singing, and Chris, our bass player, was playing bass. And when Sam joined, then he started singing, so I just played guitar.
So that's interesting. And did you stay in contact with Sammy while he was doing his time in San Quentin?
No, not really. I mean, I have to. I don't think while he was in there, I didn't know. I mean, because I only stayed in contact with him for a lot of years because I would have to send him some small royalty checks every once in a while. So I kind of stayed in contact that way, knowing his address. But I think while he was in prison, I didn't really have any contact with him.
Was that, and I'm sorry to get too personal, but was that because of maybe personal feelings about what happened, or no?
No, not really. I mean, we even before he went to prison, I hadn't really been in contact with him. I mean, I would see him every once in a while, but I quit the band like in '84, so he he didn't go to prison until I think 89 or so.
Yeah.
So I hadn't really been in very much contact with him before that anyway, so I wasn't really. I'd only just got rejoined contact with him just like maybe 5 years ago or so, really.
I see. What were your thoughts back in the day in '89 when you heard he had gotten busted? Do you remember?
Well, I mean, it was kind of like it was a surprise, but it was sort of like, well, if anyone I knew screwed up and killed someone and went to jail, I mean, Sam was the one to do it. You know, it's sort of like he was so messed up at the time that it didn't. You know, I could totally believe it and see it happening, but. It wasn't like we were hanging out and friends and I had to deal with it on any day-to-day level. It was just sort of a thing that was separate from anything I was involved with.
Did you ever think Fang would ever reunite or get back together?
I didn't think so, but then because it didn't seem like he would want to, but then when he got out of jail, I think someone pushed him into it, even though he still didn't want to, I think, when he got out, but then he sort of got pushed into it, and then he found out he wanted to do it after all. But it was a little surprising at first. Yeah, I didn't think it would happen. Interesting.
As far as Boner Records, was that your record label?
Yeah. I started it. I guess originally started just put out the first Fang Landshark 12-inch.
Ah.
And I don't know. I just discovered I kind of really liked doing it. So after I quit Fang, I just kept the label going and put out more and more stuff.
Don't you own another label too, or is that the only one?
No, it's the only one.
Okay. Okay, I thought I'd seen something where you were in charge of another label, but I didn't know for sure. Okay.
No, I don't have any big conglomerate here.
Have you released all of the Fang records yourself?
Not all of them. No, I released the first two that I played on. There's Landshark and Where the Wild Things Are, and that's it. I mean, the other ones that he's done since have all come out of other labels.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and then I put out the Amiga Swap record too. That's right. So that was the third one, or actually their fourth album.
So at least of all the bands that I know about, Tapeworm, Fang, Duh, Star Pimp, Cornelius Asperger, and the Bi-Curious Unicorns. Which Tracy's laughing at that one.
I like that.
What is your favorite band that you've been in? Do you have a favorite?
Oh man, God, I don't know. I mean, it's all, I'm too. I don't have a way to step back from it and see it from afar. Like everything, it's hard to judge. I mean, I like all the music I've made. I mean, I still even listen to it all, when I get a chance. So, I don't know. I really don't know how to answer. I like certain songs by each band a lot, so it's hard to tell which band as a whole.
Yeah, I get it. That was just an impulsive question. Tracy, you got anything?
Well, I just kind of had a general question. What's your opinion of music today? Do you have any bands that you listen to that are, I guess you would consider new bands? I didn't know. A lot of people just don't listen to anything out of even this decade or the last two. And
that is kind of the way it is for me too. Yeah, I hardly listen to anything that's new at all. I like this English band called Part Chimp a lot.
Part Chimp.
Part Chimp, yeah. They're I don't think they've ever come over to America, but they released a bunch of records over there. And this band from Atlanta called Whores, I like them.
I find it kind of overwhelming. The music, you go on YouTube. I mean, I call it like going down the rabbit hole, because you get on there and say you find a band someone turned you on to, and then it's so overwhelming. I mean, it used to be you had to really, you had to make your own.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't even want to start trying to figure it out, because then I'll never stop.
Yeah.
I'll keep thinking that I'm missing something. If I just stay away from it totally, then I don't have to pick and choose what I'm going to listen to.
Exactly.
And I can just, listen to things from 30 years ago that I know I already like.
Well, and used to you had to put quite a bit of effort into, making a tape and then kind of, selling the cassette tape at shows or out of the trunk of your car. Now it's like anyone can put out a fairly professional sounding, song on YouTube with all the gadgets and everything you have on a computer.
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's a mixed thing, because it used to be you had to reach a certain level of something in order to get your music out there, and now you can do it right away. So there's so much more, but the quality is much more uneven, I guess.
Well, yeah. And talent scouts, or, people that, actually hunt down for new bands. I mean, you had to kind of go out to clubs and shows and all these, hole in the wall bars. And now you can just kind of scan YouTube for a few days. It's changed a lot. The music business is completely, technology has changed it so much. And I just kind of wondered, what your opinion.
Those kids need to get off my lawn, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I have one other question I always ask our guests when they come on our show. If you could go back, say, I don't know, however many decades, and not be in music and, choose something else, what would you say you would have ended up enjoying as a career, or what would be something you'd be doing other than music if you could go back and choose and couldn't choose music?
It's hard to say, because it's what I've been into, since I was
Forever.
a teenager. Maybe writing, that's not, it's sort of the same thing, just something creative in that way, writing, or
that's cool though, writing.
I mean, I would like to, filmmaking too is something I've always been interested in. So that would be another thing. But
right on.
It's all, it's all part of the same artistic, creative process. So it's, I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't do that. Really, I never really enjoyed much else other than, the record company I run is kind of just a business. It's not really a lot of creativity involved in that, I suppose. Yeah,
and it's very rare that I get, someone that is a musician anyway that comes on the show and says, I'd like to, go back and be a physicist or a
proctologist.
Right. Yeah. I've never, when I was in school, I was never interested in any of the, subjects or anything like that. So it was kind of like music was the only thing I could really get behind and pursue.
You were destined for the arts.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I have a couple of questions for you. One of them is just another random one. Back in the early and mid 80s, I was hanging out with Gigi Allen, who I'm sure you're familiar with, but one time he sent me a tape of himself playing, I believe it was, I think it was the other Portland, Maine. And I want to say that you guys either played a gig with on the same bill, or he was at one of your shows. And I just wonder if you remember that by chance, playing a gig with Gigi Allen, or if he was at one of your gigs and him hanging out, causing trouble back in the day.
I believe they played with Fang, but it was after I was out of the band.
Oh, okay.
But the story I heard was the microphone that Gigi used and stuck up his butt was the one that the backup singer in Fang had to use also. So,
what?
so he had to get far away from the mic when he sang.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that answer, but that's funny. Doesn't surprise me though.
No, It doesn't surprise me either.
Wow. Okay. Ask and you shall receive. Yeah, man, that's funny. Are there any parts of the country that whenever you perform, like say with Fang or other bands, that you enjoy performing in more than other parts of the country?
Yeah, well, I always liked Northwest, Seattle and Portland, and I always liked Chicago, and maybe Boston and Austin, Texas, I suppose.
Awesome.
Boy, those are completely opposite types of, crowds. I would think anyway. I'm from the Midwest.
It's more alike than you think, really.
Yeah?
I mean, the towns are different, but the crowds that show up at the shows are pretty much, they're all into the same thing, so they all get mixed in.
I'm from the Midwest originally, just a couple hours south of Chicago, so familiar with, used to go to a lot of shows in Chicago back in the, early 80s, and always a good time. And then I've been to, a few shows in Texas, and, the whole Keep Austin Weird thing that, used to be a thing. Now it's keep everything weird. Every place has got that motto, but Austin's a great place to just such a wide variety of music.
I got a lot of friends there too, so it's always good to be there.
Well, man, I tell you, Tom, we're a music show, not really a talk show, but we like to every week have somebody interesting on, and it was really fun chatting with you, man, and would like to have you back on sometime. And Sister Tracy, you're the birthday girl. Do you have any final things you would like to speak with Tom about before you wrap it up?
Just to ask him, if what he's got going on coming up here, and in the next couple of months or so, and
future plans.
Yeah, future plans.
My future plans. Well, first, let me say happy birthday.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I'm in a band called Antler Family now, so I play guitar in that, and hopefully we have stuff recorded, so it'll come out eventually, and, we'd love to get up there in Oregon, too, to play, so
yeah,
that's my main future plan.
Come play Medford and hit me up if you need any help, man, organizing that.
I certainly will.
Yeah, we appreciate the time. I'm a big fan of all the stuff you've done. We did some Tapeworm earlier. We're going to play a song now from Where the Wild Things Are, which is a 1982 album from Fang. The song we're going to play is called You're Cracked. Once again, Tom Flynn, you're listening to an interview with Tom, guitarist of Fang. And, dude, thanks so much for taking the time to come on our show.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was great.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tom.
You too.
Okay, take care. Keep in touch, bro.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.